Hey, good morning. We're going to convene the September 2023 RPRC meeting. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from September 5th.
Need a motion.
And Rob's motion.
Second.
Craig seconded. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. And our main agenda items, first up is 23 Cats Rock Drive. Don't believe we have anyone here. Don't. So I'll pull up the plans. Oh, hey, John.
Sorry.
No problem. We just did the minutes. We're on the first one. This was 23. Okay, so this is adding a new garage to the house. What we have is a Rambler. And you can see the existing footprint. And they're adding a new wing. And they'll reconfigure the driveway a bit. This is an existing tennis court. I think you need more of a site plan. You know, there is some slopes here.
We need the site engineer.
Yeah, not too significant, but there is gonna be some.
Yeah.
Something going on
It's
there.
workable.
It's workable, yeah. However, given the tennis court, the amount of driveway. And the amount of land coverage of the existing house, they're over the maximum, not surprisingly. So they would need about a 3,000 square foot variance to of the land coverage.
And how big's the addition?
9.
They're already over anyway.
Yeah, correct. They're over already. Let me pull up. It looks okay, like, you know, what they're proposing is definitely compatible. Oh, it's 860.
Makes sense. 2 bay or 3 bay?
It's 3 bay. Yeah, so new 3 bay garage. The existing garage gets converted to a family room. So that's what it will look like. I had a question about what's going on in the attic. They weren't counting that as floor area, and there's a walk upstairs. I think it's just going to be storage, but all that space that's over 7.5 feet has to be counted. But they should.
Well, how is the house with floor area? It's fine.
Yes, they're fine. They're fine. So, any need, do you think this needs to go to the ARB? It's not visible from any.
I mean, it's not visible from anywhere, I guess. I
No.
don't need to. I mean, I would have put windows on the front of it. I mean, that's like a two.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, why doesn't he put?
it just looks, I mean, it's not really that detailed. It looks, a little interesting, but if nobody sees it, do we
No.
care?
Let's
Yeah,
put
put it on the back, you know, yeah, not,
Well, they must have a reason. I don't know. Well, a lot of people do say the backs look better than the front sometimes, so.
okay.
Also, what direction is it facing? The windows. That's the
Well, it's
north
just
side.
static, but,
Well, I
The
mean,
back side is the north side.
is it,
all
I mean,
right,
but I mean,
Or light.
they can use it as legal space at some point because FAR wise, they're okay.
yeah, they could.
And then it's just a health department.
Yep.
Issue, whether
Yeah.
it's a bedroom or not, right?
And
Well,
then the issue of
anything
light.
over 1,000 square feet requires
Oh.
health department approval.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, the garage doesn't count, right? Garages don't count for the health department. They don't care about a garage.
Don't know,
That's a look at my
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know.
My
They
exemption.
used to not care about if it was a garage.
Changed, everything changed.
Did it again?
All right, but is everyone okay? We'll send this to the zoning board and then to the building department, or do you want?
Maybe it should come to ARB because it's not, I don't know. I don't really care. Like, nobody sees it?
No.
All right, so somebody sees it. I think.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to send, what's that?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you really can't see. it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Send to ZBA, then building. I'll make that motion.
There you go. Okay.
Is that Rob? All in favor? Okay. So. One, taken care of. Address all of your concerns on the engineering. Next is Stony Brook. I don't think we have anyone for this one. This is an addition at the rear corner of the house, so existing house. This is already a bump out addition. And they're gonna add to the rear of that and wrap around the corner for a sunroom. I think it looks fine, no significant issues, about 434 square feet. That's essentially what it would look like. And you can see from the aerials the context. So no, and then it's flat here. There's no grading here. Any concerns from your end, John?
No, they have to handle the site engineering.
Okay.
You may want to refer it to help.
Yes. But looks good. Any concern?
Yeah, no, actually, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so then I'll make a motion to send this to building.
Not wetlands there?
Yeah, but it's, you see the dot dash line just outside the addition.
Oh,
Right
that's
there.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
So I just asked them to point that out, so the contractor knows this.
Do we need a wetland, administrative wetland permit?
No.
They're outside.
Oh, they're outside.
Yeah,
That's
This
the buffer
is
line.
not
That's the end
wetlands
of it.
here? This is not a stream?
it doesn't show up as one. Does it on this plan? Drainage ditch, right? Yeah. The only wetland spot in the subdivision was that where they picked it up with a pipe. And they have that 100-foot setback. I went back to the original subdivision plan on it.
Yeah, you're talking about this right in the middle?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. When I was out there, I definitely didn't see that. Yeah. As a wetland.
Oh, I don't know if it was rolling
Yeah, I think
stream
they
there.
picked the drainage up on the top, the northern end of the site, and pipe it
Yeah.
across the yard. Which was approved from this. No,
So
no,
I,
it's outside the 100.
Yeah. so I made that motion. Anyone want a second to send it to building? Keller, all in favor? Aye. Have someone here.
Little variance, huh?
Nadia. Second to Elaine. Nadia, are you with us?
Yes. Hello, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, hi.
Do you want to tell us about the project?
Okay, so I work with Amanda Linhart. She's the architect in charge. Unfortunately, she didn't meet the meeting. We're just looking an extension of the garage. Right now, they do have a 2-car garage, but they need some room for a mudroom. So that's why we're extending to the right of the property. And that's where we exceed the setback allowed.
Right, I'm gonna pull up the plans so we can all see. Okay, so what we're talking about is an addition in the rear, which complies, and then the addition to the side of the house, which does not comply. It's not with the setback. Also, you know, isn't the new addition is for a new garage, correct?
Right.
They have a 2-car garage, but we're taking the space of 1 car to make a mudroom and a workshop. And then they still need 2-car garage, so that's why.
Right, so I didn't understand your plan. How are you gonna get to the garage? You didn't show,
Yes, I'm sorry. We updated that after we submitted, but yes, we're gonna have to modify the driveway.
right,
To access the new.
Yeah.
The new door.
yeah, okay,
You just gotta do ground coverage too.
Yeah.
Update those sheets.
yes, I have that as a comment, yep. Are any trees coming down for this?
No big trees. There's a lot of like, yeah, no, big trees, no, on that side, no.
Nothing over 8
8
inches DBH,
No.
correct? So the elevations. Okay, so existing,
Mhm.
any concerns on your end?
Go back to the front.
Sure.
Plus here now. Not really.
Yeah, no, it's a nice improvement. So we talked about the driveway. we
So how
talked
much of a
about-
variance do they need?
Let's see. We need 25, and what do you have, 8? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it's about, it should be in the first sheet, we have the calculations and.
Oh, no, yeah, 18.
Well, not really, because it's gonna be tighter on the front.
Maybe,
No, it's going to be, because the one line's going out and the house is going
Yeah.
tight, right? So.
yeah, make sure you measure the.
Yes, you
need
need
to have
your
the-
shortest dimension.
Right,
has to be-
shortest dimension,
Okay, yes.
yeah, so it might be.
So maybe it's
18.
15 feet and a 25, so what, so how much do you need, 10 feet?
Yeah,
About, give or take,
They need 25 feet.
right, so you're looking for like a 10-foot
Yeah.
approximate there.
Yep.
Well, that's a zoning. board
Yep.
decision.
And we talked about the driveway needing to get to the addition. Elevation, show building height.
Before you apply the zoning, just make sure you submit updated plans with the
Yes.
zoning.
Yeah, we updated these drawings after we submitted. It was just, we wanted to get it in before the architect had to travel. But yes, we have updated, we modified the driveway, and I'll make sure like we have to, the front is where we have to.
Okay. A
Yeah.
bunch of engineering comments that John needs addressed, in particular, getting the stormwater and erosion control set.
Mhm.
But I think we're ready to move this to the ZBA, so I'll make a motion to send this to the ZBA and then the building department afterwards.
Okay.
Sure?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so next stop, ZBA, we'll post everything on the RPRC website later this afternoon, showing what items you need to address with the building department, and you can go from there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, next is 33 Nichols. Don't see anyone for that. This is a request to remove 2 trees. You can see that it's not a great existing condition. I don't have any concerns with this. Though, I don't know, Rob, why Ivan didn't bless this, but
Probably because they're live trees.
maybe, but there, definitely is a hazardous
One's definitely crooked.
situation. Right. Yeah, it's not okay. So, but I don't have any concern with these trees coming down. They're, need to be addressed. Everyone okay with that? All right, so we'll send to building. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You know, 30 trees they're gonna take down.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about that one now, so let's get them.
View of the lake, I guess.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, so do I have everyone in the meeting that you want here?
Let's see. Who do we have?
Well, you've got you, Nicole, Insight.
Okay,
Bill's
and
not
Bill McGinnis should be joining us too.
Okay.
See if we got him.
Yeah, he's here. I just didn't know he was for you guys.
Okay. Hi, Adam. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Where's the beard? The last time I saw you had a beard.
Yeah, maybe. So do you want to make a presentation, take us through the plans?
Kathleen is going to do that for us.
Okay.
Let's see if she can get in. She's connecting now, I see. There
Good
she is.
morning. Sorry, Zoom updates and I feel like it.
Yes, always happens. So Kathleen, do you want to share the plans with us and take us through?
Absolutely. Wonderful. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So good morning. My name is Kathleen Gallagher. I'm with Insight Engineering, Surveying and Landscape Architecture. I am joined, if you have not already met them, with the architect Bill McGinnis of Sun Homes and Larry Nadell of Covington Development, who is the applicant.
And Nicole also. So Nicole Goltzer, who's the owner.
Beautiful. Excellent. So we have the whole team. We are here for 15 Upland Lane. 15 Upland Lane is located just north. I'm going to zoom in on our location map of Windmill Lake. And if we look at our overall plan, just for reference, north is located to the left side of the screen. So if I refer to something that's north on the page, it's actually to the left, south on the page is to the right. The property is located in an R2A residence district. It's a 2-acre lot. The current property consists of a single-family residence, which is located on the street side of the lot. There is an existing driveway, additional sidewalks, as well as decks. There is an existing septic system located in the rear of the property. And then the site has several trees located within the front half of the property and then more densely located on the rear side of the property. As part of this project, we will be demolishing the single family residence and replacing it with a new home, as well as stormwater management and septic. So what that means from a tree removal standpoint is we are looking to remove the trees located adjacent to the house. We did include an arborist report, and the trees in this area are not really of good quality. And it would be very difficult logistically in order to save those trees. So we are proposing to remove trees in this area. We are trying to save a 40-inch red oak, which is of good quality and a good species, in the rear of the property, but removing several trees located to the south of that, and then several trees in the rear of the property that have to do with the septic system, which I will show on a subsequent plan. The proposed project includes the construction of a single family home with a garage, proposed porch, a screened-in porch in the rear. It includes a courtyard at the garage, as well as a reconfigured driveway that includes a turnaround for better ease of access and circulation, as well as a pool in the rear of the property. We will be doing some supplemental landscaping throughout the site that is currently in development, and we are happy to hear any comments by the RPRC if you want to give us any guidance on specific things that you are thinking about or looking for in respect to screening species and things of that, and we are happy to tailor our landscaping to that as well. If we go to the utility plan, the existing home is located in the front of the property. We are proposing to replace that square footage with a stormwater management underground infiltration system. Our engineers do have a call into Joe Tremelli at Kellard Sessions to talk about that. We have some percolation test holes in that area surrounding the building. And so I do know that there is some subsequent design that needs to be completed for that, but we were hoping to have a little bit more of a conversation to discuss this being an option. The septic system is proposed to be located in the rear of the property. You can see the primary area is located in the front, which is why the trees are being removed. And we have allocated an expansion area in the rear to the south. And for the moment, we are keeping the trees in that area. There are also several trees being removed to be able to make this connection to the tank and to the home. And we are trying to squeeze it in between as many trees as we can to remain as much vegetation on the property. Tree protection is included for the trees that are proposed to remain. We have some white pines that are located on the side of the property that are being preserved. There is an existing gas and water connection in the street, which we will be maintaining and reconnecting that to the existing home. Stormwater management wise, we are collecting the roof as well as the impervious surface for the driveway and the courtyard, and all of that will be piped into the stormwater system proposed in the front of the property. There's a flow splitter located on the driveway, and then that overflow will be connecting into the existing catch basin that is located on the street. From a disturbance perspective, it's a little hard to see on the screen, the limit of disturbance, but we are under an acre. In respect to the town's code, we are required to do erosion and sediment control only, but based on past experience, we do know that post-construction stormwater is often required and preferred by the town, which is why we are proposing the storm tech system in the front of the property. And we have additional details located on the plans as well. Preliminary soil testing has been completed for the septic in the rear. We do have it scheduled for witnessing test holes with the health department this week. And we'll be able to progress that plan, parallel process it with our review with RPRC. That concludes my technical review of the site plan. I am happy to take any questions from the board.
Thanks, Kathleen. That's great. Do you want to just take us through the architectural plans next, and then we can get into the weeds?
Sure can. Bill, do you want to take the architectural plans?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Do you want me to pull it up on my screen and just go through it?
Sure,
or-
just go page to page, and it's a fairly straightforward description I'll give.
How many square feet is the house?
The house is 4,500 and change of finished space. And the calculation, the floor space calculation includes all the covered porches in Lanai as well. So because of that, there's it's almost all crawl space except for the mechanical room, because there's about 2,000 square feet of covered porch in Lanai. So if we go to the next page, Kathleen. It's a two-story colonial in the main mass of the house, a triple garage to the right with a courtyard in front, nice play area for the kids with a wraparound porch around the front. And then that's a two-story element in the middle, and then a master suite down on the left. That's 1 story. And if we can go to the next, and then upstairs, 4 bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms. Fairly straightforward colonial plan, but with a master down wing on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And then if you go to the next page. Large porches. This is all about the porches. Large windows, probably Marvin's cementitious siding. Standing seam metal roof on the low porches, and architectural asphalt shingles on the roofs, and then PVC trim. The only wood on the outside will be the garage doors and the front door. Next one, please, Kathleen.
Okay. Yeah, it looks nice.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right. Kathleen, you want to go back to the site plan? Okay, so, I think the biggest issue is the amount of tree removal, and can you take us through the site plan that you had that depicted tree removal, and the arborist site plan seemed not to coincide? Can you just take us through exactly, or take us through those 2 plans so we just understand exactly what trees you're removing?
So take our plan as the latest and greatest. His plan was really just for the numbering. For his correspondence, he had an earlier version of the plan that was just for really the numbering. Our plan is what's showing the removal, but let's go through his.
Yes, so, when I was reviewing, if you could go back to his plan for a sec. Right, so those look vastly different.
The X's on it, are you saying the X's or the location?
No, it just wasn't clear from this plan what was being proposed to be removed and what was going to remain. And if it's your site plan, I think that I have a lot less concern than if this plan, how it depicted tree removal potentially. It just wasn't clear to me.
Correct. I understand why that could be a little confusing. For clarification, his plan is only for the numbering of the trees in order to correspond with his analysis. And our
Okay.
plan is what will show the final tree removal.
So Kathleen, let's go back to your plan then. Okay, so total, you've got 4 or 5, 6 trees in the front that are going to be removed. right?
Correct.
Okay, then in the midsection of the property, you've got the 4 trees in that band.
Correct.
Okay, and then in the rear for the septic, it's only 4?
Correct.
A total of 13.
Okay, all right. So I'm not that concerned. I was much more concerned if all of those trees were being removed.
No,
and were
and
identified.
they are leaving some sporadically
Yeah.
throughout the site, okay.
I will tell you what his plan is showing is that from the different colors, we survey located the trees in the front of the property to the north. The trees in the rear of the property, we were not able to have survey located for the submission. They have been survey located since the submission and we'll be able to add it to our plan. But so his solid color just means they
Yep.
haven't been survey located. He's doing the best he can, for this.
Yes,
And then
approximately.
we'll carry it through once we get the actual survey
But the
location.
vast majority of those darker red trees in the rear are going to be preserved.
Correct.
Okay. That's helpful. And can you go to the landscaping plan, your proposed landscaping plan? Just let's take a look at that. All right, so what trees are being preserved in the front, if any, the front yard?
So the 40-inch red oak ends up being in the front
Ah,
yard because the house.
All right,
you know,
that's great. Okay, so that's your focal specimen tree. Yeah, all right. Where's the
Correct.
drip tree? Do you know ish about? Is it
The witch
outside
tree?
of the 40-inch?
Oh, where's the
Right.
drip line?
Yeah, are you gonna be able to really preserve that?
So let's go to,
Oh, you did mark it. Okay, great.
so we are gonna be able to preserve,
Yeah,
a
nice.
pretty substantial portion of it compared to what we're usually able to do on a 2-acre lot with a very
Yeah.
large specimen tree. So we do have to be a little bit, they will need to be careful when they are doing the gas and the water line, but we are trying to have that at the edge, and obviously the roof drain is going to be as close to the building as possible. So we are trying to, balance. It's one of the reasons that the stormwater is located where it is, in hopes that we can, keep this 40-inch and then bring the utilities as much to the edge, as possible. They're not going to be able to be sloppy about it. They are going to have to protect the tree, make sure they're not compacting it, but that's why we're showing the tree protection.
Any major engineering? They've talked about how they're gonna coordinate with you on the stormwater.
Yeah, I think the plan is relatively straightforward. The site is an easy site to
Yeah.
work with.
This is a very nice plan.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
good plan. I do have some comments with regard to the infiltration system in fill,
Hmm.
which we'll have to discuss. And I also thought the infiltration system it looked like you were trying to pipe the overflow back into the road drainage system. But the road drainage system is higher than the infiltration system, so I was a little confused there. So we may want to have a discussion before you make the next submission.
Agreed. And Rich Williams from our office is willing to have that conversation. The question for you two to discuss too is the existing house, I believe the roof drains just outflow to the rear of the property. The high side of the property, like you have insinuated, is in the front, and then the low side is the back. So right now it's all going that way. If for some reason you would want that overflow, to be piped around to the rear of the property, that's something I think we'd be willing to do and discuss. It's really what you guys are comfortable with from a flow perspective, getting it. But yes, right now there is a flow splitter here and it is connecting to the drain in the road.
Yeah, it just looked like the elevations weren't working to get that drainage to the road. And
That's something we can review holistically, absolutely, and get you guys something a little more detailed for the next
I
submission.
guess that's another question maybe for the group. If we couldn't get it into Upland, the drainage, the only alternative is discharging to the rear of the property, and I would assume you want to discharge below the septic system. So that starts to develop a point discharge down to the lake property.
Which is currently what's happening now. So it's not necessarily like you're creating a new discharge point, you're just kind of maintaining what's there.
Does the upland drainage go back to Hardscrabble Lane? Or Hardscrabble Circle?
At that point, I don't know, it may go down to North Lake. It's like right in the middle.
Is this right across from where the barns are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the highway department put a drainage system, I think it goes back the other way.
Back to.
And we really don't want to send more water to Hardscrabble Circle.
No.
Because Mrs. Miller down on the North
Yeah.
Lake, he's getting all that water, so if we can go back to the lake in the rear, but not handle it as a point discharge, maybe spread it out.
I mean, if you're okay with that.
It's something we should look at. Maybe before you make the submission, Kathleen, we take a close look at that. That's the only significant issue I think we're dealing with here.
Okay.
It's working out the drainage.
Do you plan on keeping that, the old house during construction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If Larry, someone wants to speak, but yes,
Yeah.
I do believe that there's already been some discussions with the building department about potentially keeping the existing home and actually occupying it while portions of the house are being built. Now, from a logistical standpoint, the septic would have to be coordinated, for that. We would have to preliminarily build the proposed septic system just because the construction of
Actually, I
of the home
believe
is
the,
on top of the existing septic.
no, I don't believe it is actually. It's marked on your plan, between the two houses.
Yeah, it's behind, it's 10 feet, starts 10 feet right behind the house.
Yeah, it's right around the 40. So yeah, it is located right in front of it. There is some work being done. We would have to do some sort of phasing plan to figure out exactly how that works.
Rob's the building inspector, so you'll have to coordinate with him.
Participate, yeah.
We traded emails last week about it, and he said he was open to it, and I sent him just sort of a marked up plan, so we're happy to carry it through with him.
Any major concerns there? Okay.
No, he said it's
No, Rob's here.
I'm
Rob-
here.
Yeah, Rob's
oh,
in the-
sorry, I'm sorry, right, okay, we swapped an email last week. I sent a plan with showing a construction fence with a lock gate and a silt fence around it, and the intention would be to keep the septic and existing home during construction and then decommission everything and take it out after the new system's up and running.
All right, I think this looks great. I'll make a motion to send this to the building department.
A second.
If actually,
Hold
if
on.
I could have one more point of discussion, not that I think it's going to change it, but while we have this whole team here. There has been some discussion since we submitted this about phasing the project. If it would be a possibility for us to phase really the main residence, the driveway, obviously all the associated utilities in phase one, and then have basically the master bedroom as well as the lanai in the proposed pool as phase two. I don't anticipate
Yeah,
that.
We can do that, but you should submit then elevations of phase one. And we should
Sure,
bless those.
sure.
Okay,
So do you want to come back for that?
And that's really the question is what does that change procedurally for?
Yeah, I mean, if we
you
had
guys.
the elevations to look at, we could have done that.
yeah,
But-
it's kind of evolved a little bit, Adam. Sorry, we're just trying to keep budgets in line here, so.
Yeah, no, I understand. And we absolutely could do that, but we need to know, we've got to bless it, we need
I
to see what,
understand.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely, fair enough, yeah. We'll put some together, yeah,
I guess you come back for
With
that.
sure, okay. And can I ask, did we read there's wording about what's considered square footage, any covered porch that could be finished in the future counts against it. So all the sort of wraparound porches and the line, everything, we calculated that right? I took the
Did
sort of remote-
calculator, right, and you were below the maximum, so it's all
Yeah.
fine.
yeah,
yeah.
okay, all right, great, thanks.
Yes, but that's right. So I made the motion, Rob seconded it, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll post all of our comments. The next step will be for you to address those comments in a submission to the building department. If you choose to do the reduced scope phase one, then submit back to the RPRC, the floor plans and elevations of phase one. And we'll
Okay,
get-
so that submission will be limited to the architecture.
No,
and
we're
the site
approving
plan was-
the whole project, the bigger
Right.
project.
That's great, thanks. So this is a referral now, and then any revised elevations, we come back with just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's more than fair. Thank you.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you,
So
everybody.
wait, just for clarification, we would just come back with the architecturals, not the entirety of the project.
Yeah, because you're not changing.
Right.
Well, yes,
Right.
whatever.
Unless we change something.
Site plan would have to
Yeah,
change.
yeah,
so we're
whatever.
not doing.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
updates are necessary for phase one.
That's great.
Basic, the larger project today, but if you want to come back with the reduced,
Right.
we'll look at it.
Very good.
All
Thanks very
right.
much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you
time.
all.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay. Robert, sorry you had to wait. Hope that was a little bit interesting. Okay, good. Glad to hear that. So let me pull up your plan here. You could come join us if you want.
Well, I have a display here.
Yeah, however, whatever. you
Large
wanna do.
version of what I had in the,
I'm gonna pull
Submit.
it up in case anyone
Okay.
is watching at home.
so maybe I'll just put this on here. And just write it to you.
Yep. So just as history, you received a stop work order from the
Right.
building department.
Right.
And what you're showing us is what's on the screen here.
No, it's a different one. That's the survey map, but there's another screen you can go to. Those are the trees that I marked for removal. I'll explain this first.
Are they different?
Well, this is just my
This one?
rendering.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
So that's the same as this.
So,
So go ahead.
okay, so you were very concerned about the health condition of some of these trees. You hired a tree company, I'm guessing, to do some work.
Yes, but I had my landscaper said that you have some really bad leaning trees. The guy who
Yeah,
comes all the time. And he said I would check these out.
And they're very tall.
They're about
and you
120 feet.
And you can see from the plan that they're extremely close to the house. So, I went out there. And it's clear that these were of a concern. And yes, you should have come in ahead of time, but I understand what's happening here. In addition, there's a little bit of regrading in the red area behind the house.
Yeah.
And a few more trees. At the end of the day, given the scale here, it's not all that clear, but the existing area plus the new area where Robert wants to regrade and plant some grass is a very reasonably sized yard. It's not excessive in any
Yeah,
way.
it appears to be.
Right. So what Robert needs from us is authorizing the tree removal. Plus, you want to bring some material on.
I'm gonna use
Plant.
sweet pea
Yep.
and compost mixed in with the topsoil, because there's good topsoil here. Have it all mixed in for this area and then reseed it with just grass and put
Yes.
hay on it. The reason is that I've been here 29 years next week, and there have been nothing but pricker bushes here for the past 30 years. I would chop them down, they grow back. It's been a battle I can't win. I do have hundreds of trees that are still all the way through the rest of the 2-acre property. This represents about 2/10 of an acre, 9,000 square feet, less than 10%. My neighbors have trees all the way through on both sides. This house here that goes from Blair Road along Willow Pond has about 500 feet. There's there's no open land there at all. So I'm just looking at making it a little bit sunnier here.
Yeah.
This is the existing grass right now. It's been very uneven for the past many years. And that's basically it. I'm just going to show you if the arborist, he came up with report that the trees were in fact quite diseased and also not very healthy. I I also had an engineer come. And so the tree report that you have shows that the trees are decayed. The tulip tree was completely hollowed out. I have pictures of that. The engineer came and said, you're not adding any impervious areas. There's no tennis court, no pool. There's no other hard surfaces. So it's
I
just.
saw Michael's letter.
Yeah, okay. And then, you know, the main thing was the fact that like this is the backyard. That's looking.
That's a great picture. to show.
That's-
Yeah.
That's looking back and there's trees all the way back up toward the rest of behind Blair. So I'm talking about a sliver of this area. And the trees you saw in the report were quite leaning and we've had a lot of microbursts in the past few months. Last night's storm, I think I heard a thunderclap that must have literally been on the golf course. It was about a 1/10 of a second from the lightning to the sound. I could not believe
Electric
how
went out, cable. went out.
it was frightening. I
Wow.
literally screamed when that
Wow.
happened at about 8 o'clock last
Yeah,
night.
it was like an explosion.
It was an explosion. It just went pop. And then there was one more small one afterward. This is like the tulip tree. It's 120 feet tall. It's 42 inches, very dangerous. The rest of it was also hollowed out. And you know, it's basically that, that's the backyard, just to try to get a
Yeah.
little bit more
Yeah,
of grass and the prickle bushes. I also have plenty of saplings that are actually at the edge. The edge of this border here are many maple saplings that are now about 12 to 15 feet tall that will just continue to grow, continue to make more of a screen, even though you don't really see any of the neighbors and I don't want to see them and they don't want to see me. My neighbors next door have a pool behind us. You know, I hear them even last night or the other day. So basically, this was like a dead beech tree that was there a few years ago. That's how scary some of these big trees are when they die. So I don't need to
Yeah,
have a
you've done a
tree
good
come through
job.
my house and kill me
Yeah.
in my bedroom at night.
You've done a good job
Yeah,
explaining it.
Thanks.
I was out there and
Mhm.
what you're requesting to do is very reasonable.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to.
Thanks.
approve it.
Second.
Thank you, John, got it. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll sleep better at night.
I was there during Hurricane Superstorm Sandy,
Yeah.
11 years ago, and there were just trees snapping and cracking all night long. And when I went through that,
Those trees are extreme.
they had about 5, 6 trees within about 100 and 200 foot range of my property that literally fell down during that storm. One hit another, and it just cascaded. And,
Yeah.
I don't need one.
And you still have hundreds of trees.
I have plenty of nice trees left over to make sure that. they
Yes,
don't
so,
take any more
so
down.
we're gonna send you to the building department to obtain that tree removal permit.
Okay.
And you're good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay.
Take care.
So it's very well detailed.
Yes, yes. It's helpful.
And there's no need for stormwater protection.
No.
I don't- Sure.
As I see you have erosion control up.
Yeah, we have silt fence up.
Leave it up until you get good
Yes.
grass
Yeah.
cover there.
I'm trying to get this done, obviously, in the next month.
Yeah,
Before the winter.
best time of year.
To set in, so it can grow. Just have to put the application in for the building department and then they'll say, you can go ahead and bring in the removal of the trees. Correct. Okay, thanks so much.
Sure.
Have a good day.
You too.
Take care.
Okay, next is 63 Overlook. This is for the removal of 2 decks and the construction of 2 decks. So unfortunately, well, we can go over this with Rob, but the way I think we're gonna have to deal with this is with a variance. Unless Rob thinks otherwise. So we've got 2 existing decks. And this is like that A-frame house in North White.
Yeah,
It's such a cool house.
It's a neat house.
Yeah. So we've got 2 decks. There's a deck above this deck, like a little smaller Julia. But it doesn't meet the rear yard setback. They're not repairing it. They're taking it down, rebuilding it. So I think they'll need to get a variance to reconstruct it.
Was there ever a variance granted?
I didn't see anything, but I can't swear to that. So if they can submit that, that would be. But I don't have an issue with it, it's just in disrepair, they want to start over. Any concerns?
No.
So the deck does not meet the minimum required setback. Maximum permitted land coverage, they also need to then get both of those variances. Yeah. All right, so send it to ZBA.
Hey, Laura?
Yeah.
Can you check and see if 63 Overlook ever had a variance for the rear deck? No, going back. Yeah.
All right, so I'll put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to send it to the ZBA if a variance. Anyone want to second that?
Second.
Greg, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, okay.
And it is 12:23,
And we will adjourn this meeting at
How much do you think it's gonna cost to build that house?
Thank you, everyone.